As much as I love talking about stock picking, dividend growth ETFs, and everything that we talk about on this channel, this quite honestly might be the most valuable video I've posted since I started this channel. What we're going to be talking about in this video is which investing websites I use on a consistent basis. A little bit of background on me: I've been investing into the stock market for 6 or 7 years, and as of current day, I run multiple portfolios with over 7 figures invested on my own money. So in this video, I'm going to be revealing the 5 best websites that I use for stock investing and that have helped me significantly grow my wealth over time. Now, all these websites we're going to be talking about are free to use. Some of them might have premium versions, but I don't use the premium versions. I only use the free versions, and these websites are extremely helpful. So all I ask from you is to please drop a like down below and subscribe for more future content like this. And lastly, let's get into it. Now, a quick word of advice before we dig into these 5 different websites that I use on a consistent basis for investing. You're most likely going to figure out over time which websites and which tools match your investing strategies and what you're really looking for. It's also important to note that some of these websites might have features that you're going to find yourself using and needing much more consistently, and some websites you might only visit when you want to analyze a certain something or maybe look for some data. And that's exactly why I thought it would be important to make a video showcasing some of the best websites in my opinion, and to definitely allow you to add some of these to your toolbox. Also, as of filming this video, as of right now, I'm currently not affiliated with any of these different websites. These are all just websites I use on a consistent basis and that I know for a fact will benefit other investors. So the first website that I use on a daily basis is none other than SeekingAlpha.com. So SeekingAlpha, like any other stock website, has the ability to type in different names of different stocks and pretty much go through and learn more about the stocks, more about what they have to offer, things like different charts on different time frames, dividends that have been paid over time, things like valuation, and even has a little bit of features when it comes to charting. Now, to be honest with you, one of my favorite aspects of SeekingAlpha is honestly all the different articles that different people post, to really read about different analysts' insights, and sometimes just to get some confirmation bias. But I would honestly say out of all the different sites that we're going to be going through in this video, I probably use SeekingAlpha the most, probably because it's sort of the most robust website out of all the different ones we're going to go through, has the most information on it, and is sort of just easiest to use. The next website we're going to be going over, and another website that I use on a consistent basis that has some crazy cool features, is Stockanalysis.com. Now, one of my favorite things about Stockanalysis.com is that you can, of course, type in any ticker symbol for any stock or ETF for the most part, and then you can go into this tab right here and see forecasts. Now, this is pretty interesting because it has tons of different information here. It has things like recommendation trends, it has different analyst price targets, financial forecasts, but one of my favorite features is the actual sort of like infographic thing that it has right here, the charting of different future price targets that you can pretty much see for most all different stocks or ETFs. Now, it also shows that the consensus is a buy or a sell as of currently, and there's pretty much just unlimited amount of information, all for free once again, that you can learn about for once again pretty much any stock across the entire stock market. Now, what's cool about all the different websites we're going to be going through today is that some of them offer different cool things that maybe others don't. Like, for example, on Stockanalysis.com, I'm not as big of a fan of certain areas, looking at things like historical dividend payments. But like I said, as far as reading about financials or even forecasting out different future price targets, Stockanalysis.com is by far my #1 favorite. The next website that I absolutely love, this is an oldie but a goodie, is DividendChannel.com. So this is going to be very important for those dividend investors out there. So what's awesome about DividendChannel.com is you can pretty much compare with just a few types on your keyboard. You can compare different stocks or ETFs to things like the S&P 500, to the NASDAQ 100, or even to other things. So for example, right here, we're going to compare the SCHD ETF from a start date of January 1st, 1995 up until current day, and we're going to see with $10,000 invested, what both the SCHD ETF and the S&P 500 would return the same investor. So then what's awesome is it automatically populates how much total return an investor would have with dividends reinvested, without dividends reinvested, things like the ending investment amount, things like the average annual return amount, just so much useful information. Especially when it comes to newer investors, I think it's very crucial to look at different stocks or ETFs, compare how they've done next to different indexes, how they've performed historically next to different ETFs, etc., just to get more of an idea of what you're investing into. Now on Dividend Channel, there's tons of other different slideshows and different information, but to be completely honest with you, the only thing that I really use on this specific website is the comparison tool because it is really robust, it's super easy to use, and I honestly just kind of love how it looks. The next website that I just came across as of recently, and I haven't used all that much, but I definitely know I will be using it soon, is FinanceCharts.com. Now, FinanceCharts.com is really cool because they have all different kinds of free charting options. If you go to a stock like Apple and go to performance, you can then chart out things like price to CAGR, total return CAGR, revenue CAGR, and get tons of different visuals, which I absolutely love. Now, my final website that I use on a very consistent basis is none other than SimplySafeDividends.com. So SimplySafeDividends.com is going to be much more useful for dividend growth investors. And one of the main things I love about SimplySafeDividends.com is the fact that they do have a dividend safety score on pretty much every single different stock in a lot of ETFs across the entire market. Now you can type in pretty much any different stock or ETF and they will have a dividend safety score from basically 0 to 99 being very safe and 0 being obviously very unsafe. What's also cool is they then have like different reports explaining on why they think X, Y, or Z dividend stock or dividend ETF is safe or unsafe, and they explain to the reader exactly why. Now, I honestly just love the colors of the website and its ease of use, and this website has been very popular for a long time in the dividend community. And honestly, although not every single stock that they say is safe or unsafe is necessarily 100% correct all the time, I will say as a dividend investor over the years, they've gotten a lot of things right, more times than not. The other thing that I love about SimplySafeDividends.com is the fact that if you go to their latest page, on a daily basis, they have different sort of news things, or if there's a different dividend raise or dividend cut, they pretty much keep you up to date with, for the most part, all the different popular dividend growth stocks and ETFs out there, making it sort of a one-stop shop for anyone that wants to just get a quick glance of what's going on and seeing if there's any sort of crazy news as far as what's been happening in the dividend world. Now, when it comes to using some of these different stock market websites, investing websites, especially for the newer investors out there, I definitely encourage all of you, especially if you're a newer investor, to visit these different websites on a consistent basis, type in different stocks, type in different ETFs, and basically learn how to use the tools, get familiar with how everything works, and practice analyzing different stocks or ETFs that you might even be interested in investing into in the future. Now, at first, some of these websites are going to feel a little bit overwhelming and maybe even confusing to use, but I promise you, just hopping on SeekingAlpha or any of these other websites for say 10 or 20 minutes per day is going to be enough to get you very comfortable with understanding how to use at least the majority of the important tools within just a few weeks or maybe a few months. Now, the more time that you spend on these websites, the more familiar you're going to get with them, and the faster you'll be able to actually analyze different stocks, different news that's going on in the markets, etc. But my one biggest piece of advice of all is to spend a lot of time on these websites, get familiar with how they work, because the faster you get familiar with them, the faster you'll be able to use all their tools. So there we have it. Those are all the different investing websites that I use on a consistent basis for the most part. And although there's tons of other websites that can be very helpful for investing, for me as a more dividend growth focused investor, those are 5 websites that I find extremely useful. But now I want to hear from you guys down below. Out of the 5 different sites we went through in this video, which site, if any, do you use the most out of these 5? Comment the name down below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to please drop a like down below and subscribe. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.